I want to become a farmer in the future. Maybe it's a bit of a rare thing in this study, but that's what I want to do. And I wanted to study because it's a lot more practical than many other studies in this sector.
The beautiful thing about this study is that you can really contribute to a more sustainable livestock production worldwide.
First year, I think, is a lot more relaxed. It's very nice though. It's a slow introduction into the subject.
In the first year, we have four periods of 10 weeks, and in each period you have two themes that you work on, different subjects. So you most of the time work in small groups, and the topics are animal health, animal nutrition, business topics, finance, sustainability in the sector, all different kind of topics in year one.
There's quite a lot of practical work as well, which I really enjoyed. And you ended off with like a big couple projects where you spent a lot of time on farms and yeah, analyzing their soil, analyzing their feed.
You can become a feed advisor, you can become an animal specialist with this study.
Feed consultant, you become a feed manager, you can become someone who does the work for companies like Bionex that do the work at farms to make sure they are actually organic.
Or a product manager at a company in the livestock sector.
Many. There's one that's innovation, where you actually sort of set up your own company and then also present it at like a big fair.
There are many different courses. For example, in year 3 you have a course called Farm Advice, in where you learn how to advise a farmer on different topics. And we also have a project that's called Research and Innovation, where you work on a topic, you do research for a real company in the sector.
Mostly my favorite ones are the ones where you spend a lot of time on farms. I think farm risk analysis was really good because you actually went to a farm. You had to really talk with the farmer about what is happening on this farm and then solve it.
Well, there are several ways that we can help students during their study program. Of course, every student has a mentor, which he meets quite regularly. We also have student counselors for more personal problems. And of course, well, fellow students. I hope that students can also rely on help of their fellow students.
Personally, I get it from my mentor. I talk to her once a term. But if I really need something, I can call her in the middle of the night and she'll probably pick up. That's maybe just my mentor. I'm not sure if someone else will do that for you. But and she has helped me with a lot of things already. But we are on such a close basis with a lot of the teachers that if we really have an issue with something, we can just go up to them.
An average study week, we don't have a really average study week, but in general you can say that you have about 15 to 20 hours of contact hours at school, so meaning lessons, practicals, but also spending time with your students, working on projects next to that, and coaching from your supervisor. You have
something, well, most things you do at university, but they expect you to do a lot of things at home as well. So essentially you're learning the basics here, and then you're expected to go home and really learn the rest and really develop yourself when you are doing these projects. You have a lot of choices in these projects of what you want to actually do in them. So really you can develop in that way yourself. I think it's important because we're now looking at a sector where consumers and people in this sector are more linked and together, and I think that's a big part of how this should be, how it should work. Because I think the more communication there is between this sector and the consumers, the more maybe consumers will be more accepting for a lot of the things that are happening in the sector.
Well, I think it's a very important study, especially at this moment when we are really in a transition, and animal production is not as common as it used to be. So we have to be very careful with with our sources on this planet, and still people like to eat animal products, so we have to make sure that we produce them in a sustainable way.
Definitely do it, of course. But I think it's important that you need to go to open days, really try out studies, because I've personally taken a study before that I really didn't like, and that, yeah, took a year of my life away. So definitely go to open days, really make sure this is what you want to do, but I'm sure it is. So.
I think it's very important for students to be well prepared, so I would definitely recommend to join open days. Also join an orientation day, talk to students who are already in the program, so that you have a really clear view of what the study might bring you.